Welcome to another reading. So today we're going to find out what message is there for you. What message do you need to hear? What is the subject? Maia, grandmother, ocean, primordial. This could be something about someone that will conceive or will give birth soon. It could be a passion project, a birth of something new, but not in the sense that it is coming soon, but it's like almost, it's already here. Something that you're nurturing. This could also be your child self that you're nurturing and healing. The silky inner skin, reclaiming your authenticity. It feels like healing something inside yourself in order to claim your authenticity. And this doesn't always have to be a childhood wound. It could also be like a flawed character trait, like being too selfish, or like in the negative sense, or even having too much control, the need to control. And with reclaiming your authenticity, because the Selkie, they tend to hide their skin when they become like normal human women, and they hide it so that no one can find it. I believe it's in Ireland that this legend comes from, and I don't know too much of it, but I think like if someone finds the skin, then she can't go back in the water or something, or she has to live on land. I don't know. But it kind of gives you the sense that you need to be careful of who you give your energy to, who you spend time around, right? Because you become like the people that you surround yourself with. Even if you feel you're different, you still go along with what they do. You still partake in the activities they do, right? So their energy ends up tainting yours. And many times in these situations, you tend to blur lines, or it's like you tend to cross certain boundaries that you placed before, that where you knew better, where you have, let's say, morals and standards, but you cross those lines because you sort of like just go with it, what they want, because it's like a larger group. So it's more difficult to stand up for yourself or demand something else. And that's toxic in itself. So you have to be careful who you give your energy to. It's like you have to protect yourself, create boundaries, and if you really see that these people or this person isn't for you, even if it's an environment, then you have to walk away. Because you end up losing more of yourself, you end up sacrificing more of who you truly are, the beauty of who you truly are, just in order to please someone else. Right? So you want to protect your energy and claim ownership of yourself. Be honest with yourself, even if it's uncomfortable and difficult at times, because you have to accept certain things about yourself that maybe are a bit ugly. And I don't mean physically, I mean like the things you have done or do now. right? You have to be honest with yourself. Maybe you haven't been a good person. Maybe you have been a little abusive or dismissive or um, jealous, or there's something about you that will be uncomfortable to face. But the beautiful thing about that is it gives you strength. Once you face it, it gives you strength to continue making sure that you are honest and authentic with who you are, not just to yourself, but with other people. And sometimes this road will lead to you being isolated and alone because the people that you're around will walk away, or you will have to walk away because they're not your people. But the thing is, in that silence, in that isolation, you build yourself. You end up glowing up. Because you will start to figure out how to move in the world when it's just you, when you don't have a team that backs you up, even though that they may not have been a good team. But you will figure yourself out. You will start to get back to who you truly are, what you like, what you don't like, who you are deep down outside of those friendships or of those family members or outside of that partner that you had to leave because they were toxic for you. Okay, so claim your authenticity, and the right people will show up eventually. Even if it takes years, at least you will have mastered yourself, become more independent and grounded in who you truly are, and you'll know not to entertain people that make you feel small or that revert you back to your old self, right? You want to be around people that lift you up, and not just in an egotistical way. I'm not saying that, but just people that want to see your best, that want to see you thrive in your full potential. Farewell to the moon. Appreciate and enjoy the lunar light and cycles. So this is about appreciating things that may not always stay in your life, but things that come in phases. It could also ask you to connect to your intuition at this time. Okay? And if you don't know how to allow your intuition to speak to you, you have to sort of remove yourself from the situation that creates whatever chaos or struggle it is for you. Okay? Go somewhere where you feel the most peace. This could be an actual location, like a building of sorts, like maybe you prefer a church if that's your thing. This could be nature, right, in a forest or near a body of water, or somewhere that you feel the most peace, and take deep, slow breaths. Allow everything to flow out of you, all the struggles. And then you're going to ask yourself, how do I feel about this situation? And listen to your body, feel how your body reacts. Is it dread? Is it anxiety? Is it hopefulness? Is it excitement? Right? What do you feel about that situation or about that person? Or, is this someone you can just live with, or is this someone you can't live without? Like, you can't see your life without them. Is this, let's say if it's for a job, how do you feel? Just imagine you already have this job. How do you feel about it? Does it fill you with excitement and the pleasure of wanting to do this every day? Or does it fill you with dread and that ugly feeling of like not wanting to be there? Because sometimes your mind thinks about the good part, right? The money. And you're thinking, I can get so much money and then I'll be able to buy X, Y, and Z faster, or it will propel me faster to this thing. But your body is telling you something else, right? It's telling you, despite the money, it's now worth sacrificing something more beneficial than money, and that is your health and your sanity. So yes, sometimes you will choose a job that, let's say, you don't make as much, but that's why you will have a peace of mind. You'll be happier. You'll be more content. You'll be able to juggle work and play, right? Home life or your family and your work. Always listen to your body and what it's telling you. Falling in love, kissing the divine in another, in yourself. So this could be a pathway to loving yourself more, right? Healing that inner child, claiming your authenticity and honesty and becoming who you truly are. Listening to your intuition, connecting to your intuition in order to be not just a physical being but a spiritual being, right? To see beyond what you see around yourself. And then truly falling in love with who you are inside, because that's when blessings come. When you are in love with yourself, when you invest in yourself, when you, like, through these acts, you're telling the universe, I am worthy of being invested in. And then the universe meets you halfway and starts blessing you with rewards, right? The universe is always there. And when I say universe, I don't mean like stars and cosmos. I mean like it's a great consciousness. Okay, imagine it as like a giant brain or an ethereal mind of sorts, right? It is always waiting to work with you, but you need to meet it halfway. No one will want to reward someone who's just sitting around doing nothing. Why would they deserve something, right? But when you invest in yourself, when you work on yourself, that is when that great consciousness meets you and says, okay, you're ready now. Okay, for some of you, this could be a pathway to finding your true love. Meeting someone that gives you peace, that gives you the space to truly be you, where you don't have to hide any single aspect about yourself. Because when you think about it deep down, no one gets to see you 100% of who you truly are, right? You always keep something back. Maybe it's intrusive thoughts, right? Nobody knows your intrusive thoughts. Maybe it's certain kinks you have, or maybe it's, let's say for women especially, maybe it's the dominant personality in you, because men just, you hear men want submissive and soft feminine women, so you have to like keep that dominant side of you back and hide it. Maybe it's certain interests you have and your friend or your partner or your family member doesn't share the same interests or belief system as you, so you have to sort of hold that back. When you are truly in love with yourself, you accept yourself as a whole. Of course, you still have to work on yourself to better yourself, to remove toxic habits and ways and things like that. But you still will want to see yourself as a whole and love it either way. And that's what you want to look for in a partner as well. Someone you can truly be authentically yourself with, where they see your quote-unquote flaws or interests or personality aspects of you, where they see all of that and they still choose you. right? Where there is no judgment, where there is no abuse, where there is no shame, but where they accept you as a whole, where they see your darkness and times when you are chaotic and destructive, and they still choose you and want to love you. That is true love. And a lot of people settle for something less, where they have to walk on eggshells, where they hide aspects of themselves, and that's when you get sickness in your body. You should be allowed to be your full, authentic self without the fear of someone wanting to make you small or making you feel shame for what you like or who you are. Okay, divine sensuality, making love and erotica. So that is interesting. It literally shows a pathway into your divine self, right? Because this isn't about lust. Notice that this card came after falling in love. Okay? What you want to do is combine your mind, your spirit, and your body together. And it's hard to explain. But it's about not the end goal, not wanting to find relief, if you get what I mean through this card, but to take a day or a time of the night where you want to truly love on yourself. And I don't mean to just go right in there and pleasure yourself in some way where, you're in that lust state. It's not lust. Okay, remove lust from the table. This is about feeling love for who you are, feeling it in your mind and your spirit, and sort of connecting to this divine feeling where you then explore yourself. And if you can imagine touching yourself, but not like in those areas, but like all over your body, right? Touching yourself in ways where how you would want a loving partner to do it, right? Taking it slow, making it sensual, but the whole time not watching anything dirty, not thinking about anything dirty, but just exploring yourself while focusing and affirming your love for yourself, how abundant you are, how creative you are, how mysterious and beautiful you are, right? So you want to make your thoughts about empowering yourself through this act. And then when you start to touch in those specific spots and get close to climax, you want to focus on a goal. Maybe you want abundance, maybe you want better health, or whatever it is. So it's about connecting with, let's say, your person in a way that connects you with their soul, right? Feeling each other, looking into their eyes and exploring their bodies, but very slowly, taking your time, maybe doing different pressure points or using nails, right? It's like you want to feed off each other's energy where you're in total sync, right? Where one's actions leads to another's, and you're just reacting to each other in ways where it's like a dance almost. Okay, it's not about getting off and just doing things quickly. I mean, I'm sure there will be times in your life where that will happen, but this is about connecting to each other's divinity. And you can also make things happen by doing it with each other, like manifesting things, as long as both of you are focused on the same goal. That way, once the moment of climax happens and you're both thinking the same thing, harnessing that strong energy, right, and the thoughts printed on it, it will make things come in like a lot sooner. Okay, so like it's a form of sex magic, I guess. Interesting. So at the end, I'm not going to say these words because it's in Irish and I have no idea how to pronounce them. But this is about showing up in the world and shining bright. Okay? And it's interesting. I love the fact that this is literally a roadmap, right? Healing, reclaiming authenticity, connecting with your intuition, which will make you think deeper, love deeper, feel deeper, right? And then loving yourself, exploring yourself in a divine and sensual way, because sensual energy is creative energy. But the thing is that our species has perverted it so much that you have no idea that you are actually destroying yourself when you can flip it and actually manifest the life you want through it. Okay, so exploring yourself in a divine, sensual way, and at the end of that, you get this version of you that is confident, that shows up, that isn't afraid to shine brightly, that expresses themselves in ways where you couldn't before, right? Whether it's through finally dressing up in your favorite style, in the way you always wanted to dress, right now you have the confidence to do it, expressing yourself through hairstyles, jewelry, tattoos, whatever it is. And it's like, it shows you that pathway of finally getting to a more defined state of being. You got protection, boundaries, safety, self-care, preparation, and precaution. Yeah, that's the same message with the Selkie here. So you need to always protect your energy from other people because you don't know what their intention is with you. You don't know what agenda they have. Even if they're like really kind and supportive, people can flip on you. Okay, this is why you also shouldn't ever involve friends, especially those of like the opposite gender, into your relationship, where you seek their advice regarding something private between you and your partner. Because they can easily have jealousy issues that you don't know about. They can easily be even jealous that even if they don't want you or your partner or whatever, they could just be jealous in the fact that you do have someone and they don't, right? You don't know their inner dialogue. You don't know what they're thinking. Even if you've known them for years, you don't know. That's why you always need to have discernment and protect yourself and create boundaries with people so that there is respect and that everyone knows their place and where they stand. Okay, second, you got the lighthouse. Guidance, signs, warnings, intuition, navigation, and divine protection. So this is basically, there is solutions to your issues and problems. Okay, like a lighthouse is a beacon, right? When ships are out at sea at night, that lighthouse shines for them. Even when it's like foggy weather and you can't see anything around the ship, you will see a light somewhere and you will know, okay, there's a lighthouse there, there's safety, right? So there is a beacon, a sign, a solution out there for you. and you will get the guidance that you need. Sometimes you just have to quiet your mind. This is why that intuition card came out as well. You will never get answers when you're overthinking, when you're struggling and you're pressured and you're, trying to figure things out, and you're forcing it. It is an overwhelming type of energy. You need to be calm. Okay? And when you find yourself at that calm state, then you start to ask yourself questions. Do I like this thing? Do I want to proceed and see where it goes? Or do I want this thing to be permanent in my life? Do I want to go for this thing? How would I feel if I didn't? How would I feel if I didn't have this thing? If it didn't exist in my life anymore? If there is silence where it once occupied that spot, right? It's like, think about these things and just in a calm state, try to see how you feel about it. Because there's always answers for everything, okay? My father told me once that my grandmother always said that every single problem you have has a solution. Every single one. But we are blinded in that fog, and we overthink and we panic and we're stressed out, but out there in the distance is a lighthouse that is shining and giving us the answer. Okay? So you just have to stay calm and look around and you will see it. Pebbles. Irritation, accumulation, discomfort, emotional buildup, minor issues. Okay, so these minor issues that you do have to watch out for, do not let them collect. Because even when you have pebbles, and I have some here, right? When you have some pebbles, they may seem small. If you walk on them, they're not that big of a deal, right? They're smooth, they're small. But the thing is, the more pebbles you have, the more weight there is, right? And what happens when all that weight accumulates? The issue gets bigger. So what you want to do is deal with the minor things as they come so that they do not become a bigger thing. That it might start as a pebble or two, but it will end up as a boulder if you don't work through it. Palm tree. Rest, peace, pause, self-care, nourishment, and rejuvenation. The thing with palm trees is that you don't stay there forever, right? You sit under it for a moment to get some shade. So this is a temporary type of, I'm hearing the word fix, like a temporary type of relaxation, I guess. This could also be maybe taking a short break, a short holiday, going on a retreat, just something, that doesn't have to be permanent, but just something short, but that gives you peace and rest, okay? So taking short breaks sometimes when you need them, or just having a moment to yourself. You need at least an hour in your day to yourself, okay? Take the kids to their grandparents, or let their partner watch over them, or even when they're at school, do something that pampers you, that makes you breathe, that makes you lighten the load for yourself. Sleep if you have to, okay? But everyone needs to take some form of break every now and then. Ship's wheel, cycles, faith, change, karma, direction, and movement. So this is the same message as the moon card with the cycles and changes, right? It's like nothing ever stays the same. So if you are struggling currently, know that that wheel is going to turn eventually. Okay, so you have to take it one day at a time, breathe, take time to yourself, take a pause when you have to, and work on things a little at a time, because even if you take smaller steps, it'll still make you move forward, no matter how small the steps are. And it's better to do a little at a time rather than staying still and doing nothing and feeling overwhelmed, or like, and just like, being stagnant and not moving anywhere. Oh, interesting. You got another moon card. Mystery, hidden truth, intuition, shadows, emotion, dream state. So it's like you have to keep using that intuition, because what happens when there's a moon outside? It's dark, right? It's night. And during the nighttime, you can't see details around yourself in your environment as you can during the day when the sun is out. That's why you need to have intuition. Because sometimes, a lot of times in life, you will go through things where your physical, like your five senses, won't be able to help you. Okay, you will feel blind, you will feel confused, like basically a spinning compass, right? You don't know. That's why when you work on your intuition, which is like a muscle, the more you listen to your intuition, the stronger it gets. So when you have those feelings, I have to be at this location right now and I don't know why, go there. If you have that feeling like, I feel like I have to go home right now, like I shouldn't be here, like something just feels off, get out of there. Okay? Trust your intuition. The more you use it, the more stronger it gets. And that's why when we are in that state where we feel confused and don't know what to do, that's when your intuition needs to kick in and tell you like what you should do. Right? It's that feeling. And sometimes, like, this happened to me years ago where I felt I had to be at the beach and I had no idea why. I wasn't going swimming, but just I had to be there at this time. And I went. I ended up just like sketching by the beach. Nothing big happened to me. But there was this little girl, like a tourist, that came with her father, and they were at the beach too. She came over to me as I was drawing and just watched me sketch. And then she left. She was maybe like 7 or 8 years old. I went home and I thought, like, what was the point of me going there? Like, what was the big deal? I don't know. But the thing is, maybe that moment changed that little girl's life. Maybe she saw my drawing and it inspired her to become an artist. Maybe it inspired her to do something that she likes by seeing an adult doing something they like, right? Something that isn't corporate or serious, right? But something that a child understands, right? And it's art. So nothing might have happened to me that was a big deal why I should be somewhere, but I may have changed someone else's life and perception. That's why you have to trust your intuition. It doesn't always make sense to you, but in the grand scheme of things, it does. Okay, so you may not always know the answer to why you had to be somewhere, why you had to meet that person, whatever it is, you may not understand. But it was meant to be in some way. Okay? Interesting. So you got the Devil, and I don't usually read reversals, but this one felt right. You got the Three of Cups reversed and the Hanged Man. It is telling you to get out of your mind. You are imprisoned in your own mind. This could be addictions, obsessions, cravings of some type. But it is like a prison inside your head that you need to escape. And the reason I left the Three of Cups reverse is because the Three of Cups talks about like celebrations and friendships and hanging out with people and just something fun, that like something emotionally like joyful and fulfilling in a moment, right? It's not a permanent card. It's the Three of Cups, right? It's not 10. So it's not a permanent thing, but it's like a moment of joyfulness and things like that. But it feels like this right now for you isn't the time to be around friends. It's not the time to think about moments of like momentary thrills, right? It's a time where you have to look at things from a different perspective, where you have to work on yourself, because right now this could have easily been the Hermit card, but it's not about total isolation. It's almost like it's saying that if you were to hang out with people and seek out these thrills and just moments of pleasure or moments of fun and activity and whatever, all you're doing is placing like a band-aid over this situation in your mind, right? It's like you're trying to look for a little bit of an escape, just so you don't have to think about this thing that is occupying your mind. But this is not what you need to do at this time. At this time, you need to spend time on your own in order to heal whatever this thing is, to be authentic with yourself and understand that maybe you have a problem regarding something. And you have to look at it from a different angle, a different perspective, right? Because how you see the world, how you see something, is how you will experience it. Think about someone that is colorblind, right? They may see a totally different color than you do, and that is their experience. And you can't tell them that they're wrong, right? Because that's how they see it. Just like when someone is constantly in a victim state of mind, they will always experience being a victim. Things will happen to them on a daily, weekly, or monthly, yearly basis where they will always cry, "Why me?" Where they will always complain to their family, friends, whoever, about the injustice of their life, about how bad they have it, right? Because that is what their mind feeds on. So how you see things is how you will experience them. So it's as easy, like it is kind of hard, right? Because you have to retrain your brain to think differently, see differently. But at the same time, when you think about it, it's the easiest thing ever. The fact that you just have to choose to see things differently, and everything else will follow. Like, can you imagine how simple that is? You don't have to work 30, 40 years for something. In this moment, you can literally just switch. Right? Look around you, find something in your surrounding area that you actually love, that you admire, something, an object, a person, whoever, whatever, that makes you feel happy, or that has some sentimental value or something, right? And just smile. It's like you have this thing, it's, or this thing makes you happy, or this picture or item or person just like fulfills you in some way. Something feels nice about it, right? So despite the chaos that may be happening at home around you, like for example, mold on my walls and cracks on the ceilings and stains of water that leaked from the roof and things like that, yeah, it's there. But I focus on my decorations. I focus on the beauty of what and how I like make things. And then the more you do that, the more beauty you see, the more good things happen. Right? The more beauty you get, the more beauty starts to surround you, and things start to feel lighter. Try to not watch the news for like a week and only look up good things that happened that month, that week, whatever. I'm sure there are like channels on YouTube or, you know, on TikTok or whatever, where they dedicate like a space where they show only like the good things that happened throughout the world, and try to just watch that for an entire week. You're going to see that suddenly it feels like no violence, no corruption exists. Suddenly you'll start to feel like good things happen all the time, all over the world. It is your perception that creates your reality. Okay, so you have to change how you view things, and everything else will follow. Your experiences, what you manifest, everything. So let's get a final message for you. Okay. Okay, well, I'll take all three just in case they're meant for someone. Spirit is always whispering in signs, synchronicities, intuition, sacred secrets just for you. Are you listening? That is basically the lighthouse. Okay, you have guardians, spirits, and ancestors, everyone that is working to try and give you messages, okay? But you cannot receive them if you are overthinking or under stress or overwhelmed. You have to stay calm, meditate, do breathing exercises, do what you have to do to just stay calm, and the messages and answers will come to you, okay? Second card. Don't waste time watching others live how you want. It's your turn now to dance. Okay, so stop looking at other people's lives, how they're living, the life you want because of them and how they make it look. You have your own life. Make the best of it. Okay, you don't know what can happen in a few minutes or hours, so don't waste time prolonging something. If you love something, go into it. Go into it hard. Okay, like, go get that job. Even if you don't have the requirements, just do it. Requirements are like a wish list. Okay, so go get that job. Go, like, allow the dishes to like not be clean while you go out and have some fun. Who cares? Go play catch with your kid. Go take them to a park. And don't just watch them have fun. Go on a swing too. Go on a slide. Be that childlike self again. Okay, but create the life that you want and stop watching other people live theirs. Third card is there's so much that can happen in one day. Be alive with every generous present moment. And that's the thing that a lot of people like forget most of the time. Okay? We don't know how long each of us have on this planet. Everyone thinks that they're going to reach old age, but unfortunately that's not the case for everyone. Freak accidents happen, illness happens, all kinds of shit happens. So don't waste your life waiting for the right moment to do this, the right moment to do that. When I accomplish A, B, and C, then I can go to D. It's like, no, just go for it. And stop making people like guess where they stand in your life or allowing them to constantly decipher what you mean. Just say it. Okay? If you enjoy someone's company, tell them. If you love someone, go after them. Like, this life is so freaking short. Like, I remember when I was in the 8th grade, and I would look at my brother's yearbook, and at the back they always had like the graduates and these little messages that they left under their photo and stuff, and like every one of them said like, wow, these 4 years have gone by so fast. And I'm thinking, like, when I was in high school, I'm thinking there's no way 4 years are gonna go that fast. It's gonna feel like eternity, like a prison sentence, because I hated school. But the thing is, they went by in the blink of an eye. So stop wasting time. And I forgot to mention that under the deck, you had the 8 of Swords. which is interesting because it is telling you that this prison in your mind, right, it needs to be unlocked. You need time to yourself right now, not moments of little thrills and stuff. You need time to yourself to truly work on this thing that is in your mind, this overthinking, this addiction, obsession, whatever it is. You need to work on that. Change the way you see life, you see this problem. There are solutions for you, okay? And the thing is, with the Eight of Swords, swords represent a mental energy, okay? And she is surrounded by swords, tied up. She does have, is that a blade? Yes, it's a blade in her mouth. She has a way out. She can save herself, and you can too, okay? Because the swords represents mental energy, okay? It is telling you that it is your own mind that is keeping you stuck in prison. You either don't want to face something, okay? Maybe there is an answer, but you are maybe too stubborn to choose it. Maybe you are stuck in your old ways and you prefer familiar rather than an unfamiliar adventure. Okay, something that may be a little more unpredictable, maybe a little more scary. But the thing is, you have the power to actually get yourself out of this. Okay, and it's interesting, underneath that, you got the Seven of Cups, okay? So there are options. There are things you can do. Okay, we'll take one more card. My camera keeps turning off because it is overheating. So let's see, what energy should you embody at this time? The Space Pirate, how interesting. I will find the silver lining in whatever life throws at me. That is really interesting and so on point with this entire reading. Stop overthinking it. Go with the flow. Okay? Choose the adventure. Pirates, they weren't stuck in one spot, afraid, and, you know, they went out there. They had adventures. They did what they could to, you know, to live the life they want on their terms. So stop overthinking and using excuses as why you can't do something. Go on the adventure. Okay? So if you've enjoyed this reading, please leave a like, comment below and tell me your thoughts and how this might have resonated with you. And don't forget to subscribe so that you are updated with more readings, hopefully art soon, but not at this time considering how hot it is. And down below in the description box you will find links to my social media where you can purchase my deck, which is the Sea Life Oracle, if you are a reader or a collector. You can also have a bikini shop if you are in need of some. There's for men and women, and there's beach towels on there. You can also get a personal reading. Commissioning me for that is always open. And yeah, so I hope you guys are okay, safe. Remember to get on that adventure, get out of your head, stop overthinking, stop stressing, and just do the damn thing. Okay? I'll see you guys next time.